The story unfolds in a dormitory at night, the beeping of a message notification piercing through the darkness. Now, the once serene face of a young man is etched with sorrow. True to expectations, the heart-wrenching message serves as an omen. Part Jimin. Let's break up. Immediately following this message from his girlfriend, the young man becomes entangled in a web of emotions. His ability to compose messages accelerates 100-fold. Why, Rose? Did you perhaps engage in a little mischief with our roommate? Please don't be like this. I am serious about our relationship. Is there something I haven't done well? But I have plans for our future. Our future will be a happy family, with 2 admirable children, our own home, and a car. I can strive to make everything happen. Was it because I didn't buy the magic potion you mentioned last time? If so, I apologize. But lately, I've genuinely been contributing money. Wait until next month. With the allowance, I can buy it for you. This is also the last message that Park Jimin manages to send to his girlfriend because she has unfriended him. The protagonist is no longer her friend, and to send a message, he must first send a friend request. The other side can only engage in conversation after passing the verification process. In that moment, that notification shattered Park Jimin's delicate heart, leaving no room for remorse. Even the invitation from his friends, Jimin, join us for a game of black, we're one short, was immediately retracted with a prompt apology. Sorry, causing a disturbance. This confirmed the dire emotional state of the protagonist in the face of heartbreak. Can't take it anymore. Park Jimin pounded his fist onto the table, stormed out, and forcefully slammed the door. His roommate could only look on with disdain, remarking, "He's breaking up again. The 6th time this month." The scene shifts to Rose's location, where the surrounding murmurs echo. Isn't that Park Jimin, the famous heartbreaker? Yes. He's been pursuing Jung Hoseok for 3 years. Sensing Park Jimin approaching, Rose turns to look bewildered and warns, Park Jimin, please don't do this. Everyone is watching. The wounded heart pays no attention to the surroundings, but earnestly explains, Hoseok, I know you're angry with me. I bought you these meat-filled buns. Forgive me. Don't mention breaking up again. I'll fix whatever is wrong with me. The onlookers continue their discussions. He's said to have made 4 extra places because of gifts. But what's the use? He still gets dumped. Despite the pleading of the male lead, Rose still clung to her justification. Park Jimin, I'm not angry. My ex-boyfriend wants to get back together, and after careful consideration, I feel he needs me more. Hearing this, the male lead could no longer maintain his composure and shouted in frustration, Min Yoonji, what are you? He's just a scoundrel. Have you forgotten he cheated? And now, he's pressuring you to have an abortion. At the same time, the sophisticated car of Rose's ex-boyfriend pulled to the side, and he arrogantly sneered, Get in. Following this command was Rose's obedient compliance, behaving as obediently as a dog. Before leaving, she bid farewell, Park Jimin. Let's not meet again. I'm afraid my boyfriend will misunderstand. The car gradually departed, leaving behind a young man enveloped in myriad sorrows. The sky that day was somber and melancholic, as if symbolizing the abandonment of sorrow. The male lead decisively discarded the meat-filled bun into the trash and walked straight to the convenience store. Choosing a bottle of solace-breaking wine, his heart heavy with contemplation, Park Jimin pondered. What am I relying on that always makes me end up being a supporting character? Is being a supporting character the only role I can play in life, and without it, there's nothing good? As long as I have enough supports, I won't be a supporting character anymore. But Chat Boy. In the heat of the moment, the emergence of the Chat Boy system marked a sudden appearance. The spirit of the strongest supporting character system discovered a suitable host, the tinkling sound alerting the wandering soul of Park Jimin. The system successfully bound itself, and the system board displayed information about Park Jimin, personal assets of 230 coins, limitless strengthening points for the HOA stat, and a supporting character gold of 90 billion. The strange appearance of this system left Park Jimin in awe. Why did the system of the Almighty intervene, and what's the purpose of this hack? Lost in thought, Park Jimin was abruptly disrupted by a barrage of curses. You damn pervert. Have you seen enough? Or do you want to touch anywhere else? The angry girl confronting him, with a scornful expression, said, You've been staring at my chest since earlier. Do you have a problem? You really have no shame. This person was none other than Kim Jenny, 24 years old, 1.65 meters tall, weighing 49 kilograms, with an appearance rating of 79, and her attractiveness to the male lead was at a -50. And the system also sent a signal. With the help of the almighty supporting character system, if the favorability of this girl towards Park Jimin exceeds 95 points, the counterattack will be successful, and this Kim Jenny will officially become the supporting character of the host. After reading the system announcements, the male lead could only gasp in surprise. Using the system, the almighty supporting character's money was spent on a woman, a staggering 90 billion. Right after the male lead's questions, the system sent a message. Indeed, the 90 billion almighty supporting character money has been transferred to this card, but it can only be used for women. After the other party becomes the almighty supporting character of the host, 1/10 of the amount spent will be rewarded into the host's account, becoming the host's personal property and receiving additional rewards. Since the system had made it clear, Park Jimin was determined. If that's the case, let's try it with the woman in front of him. Gently, the male lead approached the girl. "Beautiful lady, don't be angry. Whatever you buy today, I'll pay for it." As the male lead began to interact with the woman, the system closely followed and reported. The almighty supporting character relationship was successfully bound. The mission to counterattack Kim Jenny was completed, and the reward for the mission was 10% of the almighty supporting character money and 5 enhancement points. Enhancement points could improve the physical attributes of the host, including physique, mentality, strength, and agility. Upon receiving Park Jimin's invitation, Kim Jenny appeared uninterested, but immediately put on a charming smile and responded, "Oh, pretending to be wealthy to tease me, huh? Do you have the capability for it?" At that moment, people around started gossiping about the girl in front of the male lead. "Is this Kim Jenny, the beauty of the art department? They say she's formidable, making guys spend tens of thousands for her, with just 3 sentences. This guy seems to be in for some bad luck." Ignoring the surrounding chatter, Park Jimin smirked and replied, "Whether I have the capability or not, you'll find out soon enough." Without further ado, the male lead confidently accepted the challenge, and Jenny immediately spent the money. "So today, I want to treat all the students in the snack bar. Help me pay for it, won't you?" In her mind, she still held a contemptuous attitude. "A poor guy who dared to tease girls. Let me show you how embarrassing it can be for you." However, her attitude quickly changed when Ippei received 5,000 NDT. Simultaneously, the people around gasped. He really transferred 50,000, treating money like it's nothing. This guy looks so poor, yet he's a hidden wealthy man, huh? Receiving admiration from those around only fueled Park Jimin's confidence. 50,000 is not much. I wonder if it's enough to add you as a friend. Jenny still couldn't believe what had happened, questioning herself. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Could this guy really be a wealthy man? If that's the case, don't be in a hurry to add as a friend. It's not impossible, but you have to accompany me to a place. After saying that, she secretly thought about how to deal with him, perhaps with a knife. Truly, the inner world of women is unpredictable. Transitioning to a bustling urban area, stepping in front of the GUGOI store, Jenny had a few words of caution. "Just to clarify, I'm not a gold digger, I just want to see your sincerity and attitude." Hearing this from Jenny, Park Jimin understood her intentions. "Well, this is clearly a test for me." Thinking back, he straightforwardly replied, "No problem. Choose carefully what you like. Be cautious in your choices. It's a treacherous world out there." At the very moment when he used her as a test for the goddess system, while Park Jimin was engrossed in admiring the items in the store, a voice echoed, "Yoonji, do you think this purse looks good on me?" Instinctively, the male lead recognized the voice and exclaimed, "Hoseok." Hearing that, Rose found it odd and glanced around to see who it was. Meeting an old acquaintance, Park Jimin's eyes remained utterly captivated. However, that gaze was abruptly interrupted by Jenny's sarcastic voice. "Oh, the ex-girlfriend, it seems I've arrived at an inconvenient time." Park Jimin chuckled faintly. "No, you arrived at the right time." Receiving this assurance from the male lead, Kim Jenny shopped with peace of mind. "Is your store still selling the spring collection? There's only one left. I'm just trying it on." The lady mentioned by the staff was none other than Hoseok. With a resentful expression, the little follower contemplated. Park Jimin seems unaffected, even with Yuji around. Forget it. Let him see the stark contrast with Yuji's wealth. Hoseok turned to flatter the bad boy. Yuji's birthday is coming up soon. Unfortunately, What she received was his discomfort on his face. Birthday? Didn't I just celebrate mine? Hoza continued with an excuse. That was the lunar birthday. People also have the solar birthday. Upon hearing this reason, Yuji's face turned gray, and he sternly said, Hoseok, listen, I know you don't like girls overly interested in material things. I'm not staying with you for money, right? These words genuinely changed Hoseok's expression. She knew she wouldn't be able to show off in front of her ex-boyfriend anymore. Due to Hoseok's hesitation in buying the bag, Jenny instantly seized the opportunity. I'm sorry, if you're not taking this bag, I'll take it. The sensation of receiving an item from someone else increased Kim Jenny's favorability by 20 points. The decisive payment action of the male lead further excited Kim Jenny, adding another 20 points to her favorability, and another 20. Park Jimin looked on triumphantly, recognizing the power of money, a bag directly adding 60 points. At this rate, Kim Jenny would likely exude more favorability if she bought a few more bags. However, the male lead suddenly realized that the refund amount was too meager. Amidst Jenny's joy, Rose had to endure the judgments from the staff. Lalisa Manoben, I don't understand why some people seem wealthy but are stingy with their girlfriends, while others seem normal but spend tens of thousands without blinking an eye. Therefore, the store has trained us not to judge people by appearance. The ability to spend money doesn't just rely on outward looks. These words surrounded Hoseok's mind like a dark sky. Standing outside of this gloom, Kim Jenny genuinely found the truth. Indeed, bags are like boyfriends. Stolen ones are the most useful. In her eager and determined heart, she had to catch this big fish. Jenny began to transform her personality from a cold demeanor to a cute and clingy one, sticking close to Park Jimin. Thank you, my dear husband. You're so good, my dear husband. Hoseok looked at the male lead with a pitiful eye and brimming with hatred. Park Jimin, you've gone too far. That chest just made the male lead understand more about what he needed to do. Too much. Step by step, Joan Hoseok, we have plenty of time. Since that moment, the system announced the binding of the second sim goddess relationship. None other than Joan Hoseok, 21 years old, 163 tall, weighing 49 kilograms, with an appearance rating of 75 and a favorability towards the male lead of -10 points. When this female lead's favorability towards the male lead exceeds 95 points, the counterattack is successful, transforming her into the sim goddess of the male lead. Upon successful counterattack, there will be a reward of 10% of the sim goddess's money and 20 enhancement points. Kim Jenny approached the male lead. Are you still mad? My performance isn't bad, right? Next, let's go somewhere. Where to? Of course, to continue shopping. Isn't it? Isn't it? You wouldn't be satisfied with just buying one bag, right? Stepping into the new store, Park Jimin's fingers continuously pointed and gestured. That one, except for those two. Wrap up the rest and swipe the card. Even the salesperson was excited, saying, Yes, sir. Shortly we will deliver the items to the address you provided. Holding the branded items, Kim Jenny was delighted and could only sense one thing. When men swipe their cards, it truly looks handsome. Her favorability increased by 5 points as a result. Swiping for perfume, Kim Jenny's favorability increased by another 5 points. Swiping for makeup like lipstick and eyeliners, Kim Jenny's favorability increased by another 5 points. Swiping for clothes, Kim Jenny's favorability increased by another 5 points. After a shopping spree, the young lady knew she needed to stop, saying, Enough. If I buy more, my rented room won't have space. Thinking that Park Jimin would stop buying, he surprised everyone by responding, No space? No problem, let me buy a house for you. At the same time, the main character's account was credited with 30,000, 70,000, 111,000, and 24,000. This made Kim Jenny fearful and concerned. Well, this isn't good. You spent so much money. Spending this much on our first meeting, I was just joking. Due to her fear, her favorability points were deducted by 5. Noticing the change in Jenny's expression and favorability, Park Jimin subtly understood that his previous actions had caused her concern. Indeed, having a house worth several hundred million seemed advantageous, but in return, he had to endure a sense of insecurity. Changing his approach, the main character approached Jenny and whispered sweetly, Kim Jenny, a third-year student at the Academy of Arts, 21 years old this year, 165 centimeters tall, weighing 49 kilograms, likes the color black, favorite food is Korean cuisine, Capricorn zodiac sign, shoe size 37, enjoys watching horror movies, but is most afraid of walking at night. If you don't like it, why did I approach you like that? After saying this, he turned to instruct the store staff. Miss, you have a membership card, right? I will top up 50,000 TWD when the miss arrives at the store. You can introduce the latest models to her. Yes, sir. Please wait a moment. After indirectly giving a gift, the main character turned back to look at Jenny with sweetness. If what happened earlier made you worried, consider this card as my compensation. Her words genuinely caught Jenny off guard for a moment. Her eyes became strangely captivated, concluding with the statement, "If you still have doubts, you can take my offer," as a sincere gesture. The remark left the young lady blushing deeply, and she retorted by raising her chin at Part Jimin. "Despicable, you spoiled brat." Despite her quick departure, her favorability unexpectedly increased by 30 points, mainly due to the generous spending in the store. The main character received numerous compliments. This guy may look ordinary, but he is so generous. Not only generous, but also very considerate. In love. Hearing such praises further fueled Part Jimin's self-confidence. Indeed, teasing was more effective than mocking poverty. After a while of shopping for herself, Jenny also realized, "You've bought so much for me, but nothing for yourself." In reality, the main character didn't have money. To be more accurate, he was broke. However, seizing this opportunity, the young lady immediately took action. "Is that so? Then it's my turn to buy gifts for you." For her, if she wanted to reel in a big fish, it was not only about receiving without giving, but also about paying an appropriate price. At the store, the girl carefully selected items for the main character and took him to get a haircut, refreshing his appearance. After a while, the disheveled man had become refined, elegant, and scholarly. This transformed appearance added 5 points to Jenny's favorability. "This guy looks handsome when he dresses up, doesn't he?" The more she looked at the main character, the higher Jenny's favorability rose, adding another 5, plus 5. Seeing the girl staring at him, Part Jimin felt a bit embarrassed. Why you find it so strange? At his age, this was the first time the main character dressed so elegantly. He even felt fortunate that he didn't have to foot the bill. Part Jimin's captivating beauty made Jenny restless. She gently touched the main character's chin and affirmed, "Not strange at all. I just think you look very compatible with me now." After saying that, she extended her arm, turned around and said, "I'm really happy today. Thank you, Jimin. Sometimes, I even thought we were a couple. Goodbye, Jimin." Jenny left with a favorability of 68. Transitioning to the dormitory, the main character returned with a joyful expression and announced, "I'm back." His return surprised everyone in the room, and they all looked at him, asking, "What did Jimin do today to dress like this?" Jimin replied gently, "I had a date with Jenny." Of course, no one believed it after hearing it. Come on. Even Jung Hoseo can't hold on. And now he wants Jenny. Jenny is the beauty of the art department. If you want to pursue her, you need real skills. Listen to my advice. You won't be able to handle these girls. To avoid further headaches, Part Jimin nodded. "I truly appreciate your advice." Right after the conversation between the main character and his roommates, Hoseok immediately messaged the main character, "Part Jimin, if you really hate me, let's unfriend each other." Upon receiving this message, the main character silently understood that this was a probe into his attitude. Unfriending him would affect his favorability, and he still needed Hoseok to level up and earn money. Therefore, he sent a sweet message to Jenny. "Hate? How could that be? In my heart, you will always be the most special." Immediately after these soothing words, Hoseok quickly provided an excuse. Staying with Min Yoonji is not because she craves glory, but because she is sick and needs a medication that cost 50,000 yuan. Without hesitation, the wealthy Part Jimin transferred 5,000 yuan to her. Receiving such a large sum through just a text message left her terrified. "Oh, I've encountered a demon. I just casually mentioned it, and he actually transferred the money." Hoseok's roommates, curious about who was so generous to transfer 50,000 yuan, asked, "Min Yoonji, right?" Mentioning this deceitful guy, Hoseok sneered, "Min Yoonji can't even bring himself to buy a bag. It's Part Jimin who transferred the money." "Part Jimin, didn't you kick him just now?" How can this poor guy be so rich? Even Hoseo couldn't understand. Perhaps he was mistaken. He had to clarify things. Jung Hoseok's favorability increased by 5 points as a result. Hoseok immediately bombarded Jimin with messages, hoping for a satisfactory answer. Part Jimin, what do you mean? Where did you get so much money? Today at the store was the same. What's your relationship with Kim Jenny? Did you buy her a bag? Aren't you a wealthy tycoon? Part Jimin, I want to eat meat-filled buns. Will love disappear because of this? Messages kept pouring in from Jung Hoseok. Now in a new position, Jimin wasn't particularly interested in replying to messages despite the girl's inquiries. Why aren't you replying to messages? Are you asleep? He promptly turned off notifications, thinking that Jung Hoseok was overly nosy. Jimin wondered if there was any place left for him to spend money extravagantly on women. Yes, he thought of something. Part Jimin could watch live streams. There were many beautiful girls on the live broadcasts. Little May's live stream would end in just 1 more hour. Anyone who wanted to give gifts should hurry. On this platform, fans and those who liked could generously send gifts. Spending over 100,000 on this would indeed be quicker than buying a bag. Little May 9 was live streaming cheerfully. Thank you to the lonely soul who gave me a rocket. Love you. So, she immediately received a shock when the gift of sticky rice turned out to be a giant rocket. It was 100 rockets, equivalent to 100,000 dong. This huge amount surprised everyone to the point of causing discomfort. Continuous comments flooded in. Oh, so the top fan is truly blind. The younger prince punished his father. Little brother, stay away. I am the true prince. These comments only intensified Park Jimin's disdain. Indeed, dog's eyes, looking down on human eyes. Let me add some money for you guys. Spending generously this time, Park Jimin used 900 rockets, continuously launching them, and making the staff uneasy. The boss is in trouble. Earlier there was a generous fan who, in one go, gifted 1 billion to Little Mai Nai. The boss, sipping his tea, couldn't help but be astonished. Isn't that our top spender? Is he laundering money with 1 billion? The scene shifted to the streamer's resting room. Quick, 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 the ID named Lonely Smoker is an extraordinary top fan. Quickly message him. This person just gave 1 billion to Little Mai Nai. He casually gave enough for our salary for several months. At the same time, the chat box of the male lead was constantly buzzing with new messages. Little Mai Nai was astonished. Am I dreaming? Someone gifted me 1 billion? She pinched herself and exclaimed, ouch. A knock on the door. A staff member entered Mai Nai's room carrying a sign. The boss said that if they could grasp Lonely Smoker, Mai Nai would receive an additional 10% commission. Mai Nai, already having a plan, confidently replied, sure, what does he need to say? With a daddy like this, why would I let this opportunity slip away? Immediately on the live stream, Mai Nai blinked sweetly. Thanks to the rockets from my big brother Lonely Smoker, you can send me a private message, and I will promote you. Indeed, Park Jimin's chat box buzzed again. Hey, do you see my messages? In 5 minutes it will end. I messaged you. Please reply. Meanwhile, the male lead, well aware of his own value, pretended to be asleep, saying, here, little sister, don't be like that. On the second day at Park Jimin's dorm, his roommates were excitedly discussing the hot search topic. Last night, a tycoon generously gave 1 billion in the chubby stream. Truly rich in my hometown. I could buy several houses with that money. If I had that kind of money, life would be perfect. This guy really dared to dream. I'd laugh myself awake if I dreamt of having 100 million. The noisy chatter of the roommates woke up the male lead. While brushing his teeth, he quietly wondered, last night, I gave so much money. Yet Little Mai Nai doesn't seem to want to establish a relationship. Looking at the list of relationship binds, does Jung Hoseok mean that the relationship bind requires meeting in real life? Well, consider that money gone. However, in return, the male lead received numerous messages from the ladies. So many messages. Did I become a chick magnet? At the same time, Park Jimin's 3 roommates were excitedly getting ready to go out. Oh, the highly anticipated latecomers won't get good positions. Curious, the male lead asked, hey, where are you guys going without telling me? Of course, they were heading to class. Today is a shared class. A chance to admire the goddess Kim Jisoo up close. Previously, he used to run faster than all of us after school and still hesitated to leave. Stop fooling around or hurry up. At this point, Park Jimin also vaguely remembered the silhouette of his beloved Q, the Vietnamese character, portrayed by the idol Kim Jisoo. The scene shifted to the lecture hall, where today's class featured Kim Jisoo, the school flower and vice president of the student council. A dream for every male student. Her talents were indescribable, from leading the ballet dance team in 10th grade to being a top athlete in 2nd grade. Her exceptional talents, combined with her outstanding appearance, made it challenging for anyone to approach her. While the male lead contemplated that being a big shot requires a beautiful companion to truly be free, standing at the peak for 3 years without anyone able to shake him is quite a feat. Pursuing in this manner must guarantee a substantial return. Lisa and the girls around immediately took notice of this handsome appearance, saying, "Who is that? He's so handsome. It's like another department has never seen such a handsome guy." Those girls farther away whispered, but Hoseok and his friend were also surprised by the new look of the male lead. "Hey, is that Park Jimin? We haven't seen him for a few days, and he's become so handsome. Did he specially dress up for you to admire, Hoseok?" Hoseok, pretending to be indifferent, added 5 more favorability points. "Probably, what I already have Yuji. If anyone causes trouble, they might end up fighting." Hoseok's favorability increased uncontrollably, +10, +10, +10. In an instant, it increased by a whopping 30 points. Seeing Hoseok's favorability rise like that, the male lead could only comment, "Just changing hairstyle and clothes can increase favorability. Truly, women are fickle." While the male lead remained perplexed about how to bind Kim Jisoo, his friends were enthusiastic. "Go up, man, let us see the appearance of the goddess conquered by you." The big brother, after receiving a bit of admiration, proudly strutted out with a flourish. "Look, everyone, see how I'm going to make her fall for me. Go, 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 the boss always wins." According to the big brother's well-thought-out plan, he approached the location of the beauty amidst the anger of the girl, accompanying Kim Jisoo, daring to snatch someone right in front of her. "Oh," he whispered, "darling, let's be friends." The closer he got, the more he closed in, making it impossible for the girl, Kia, not to intervene. "Hey, what do you want?" he continued. "Let's be friends. If you—" Before he could continue, he was grabbed by the collar by Kim Jisoo's friend. "You rotten brat, are you looking for trouble, daring to pay attention to our Jisoo?" The formidable woman was none other than Kim Minji, the roommate of Kim Jisoo. Under the pressure brought by her roommate, the big brother could only yield. "It's all just a misunderstanding. I just want to join the student council. And since Triu is the vice president, I wanted to ask for her opinion." After that failed attempt at hitting on girls, the big brother received nothing but mockery. Even in hitting on girls, you can't come up with a better excuse than a bull. So rural and cheesy, even a calf would demand swan meat. While Kim Jisoo was consoling her roommate, "All right, calm down, don't be so angry, you'll die of rage," the male lead gradually approached, saying, "Jisoo, I also want to be your friend." Seizing the opportunity, the roommate turned and cursed. "Another one," as if it's not enough. However, Kim Jisoo's gaze also showed a hint of admiration. The arrival of Park Jimin sparked more discussions around. "What's happening today? So many handsome guys." The male lead raised his phone to request a QR code scan, seemingly indifferent to the potential criticism. This guy was indeed courageous, facing others with such determination. "Who gave you that courage? Probably Hanny Fam." However, the roommate couldn't stay angry, mesmerized by the handsome appearance of Park Jimin. "Oh my, even more handsome than the previous guy. Why would you want to join the student council?" The male lead straightforwardly replied, "I'm not interested in the student council." "So why did you befriend Jisoo? It's still unclear why I want to pursue her." Jisoo's eyes were now truly captivated. People around couldn't stop making comments. "He's here now. Look at the confident big brother. Seeing him so self-assured now, he might cry miserably in a bit." But what surprised them even more was that the girl agreed, saying, "Sure, let me scan your code." The action unfolding before them truly brought Hoseok to realization. Furthermore, Jisoo's close friend added to the inquiry, "Hoseok, isn't Park Jimin your fish? Is there some issue between you two?" Receiving Kim Jisoo's consent added to the delight of the male lead. He continuously expressed his philosophies. Everyone has a fondness for beauty, so why hide it? Sometimes the simplest things are the most effective. If it's a woman, why not let anyone pursue her? The success of the male lead fueled envy among his friends. It's annoying, and yet that guy managed to succeed. My goddess got swept away by this pig's head. From that moment, Park Jimin also succeeded in binding the relationship with Sim Chua. The favorability towards Kim Jisoo is now 0. Truly, the efforts of the male lead in this journey were not in vain. After finishing classes on the campus, the male lead and his group of friends returned home. Jimin, you did well today. You even got Kim Jisoo's wetcha. That's right, moreover, you've changed a lot recently. By the way, Jimin, if you can pursue Kim Jisoo, can you introduce some sisters to us? Modestly, Park Jimin replied, Oh, I'm not even sure if she's a beauty queen. Nothing special. You guys are exaggerating. Following that remark came the turning backs of his friends. Consider yourself. A poor guy like you should know your place. You immediately got mad. But Park Jimin now wasn't giving in to anyone, retorting sharply, Indeed, I'm quite adept at bringing humiliation upon myself. I'll study harder next time. This statement truly made his friends contemplate. The fourth boss is so arrogant. He seems to be provoking a fight, wanting to gang up on someone. I sense trouble. Then the boss-like figure stepped forward angrily. Repeat what you just said. Are you looking for trouble, or do you want a gang fight? Stay calm, boss. You've been warned. If there's a fight, it will be recorded. Park Jimin just smirked and turned away. Whatever, elementary school students. Turning around, the gaze of the male lead met Kim Jenny's, and she spoke up. Jimin, it's been a while. We've been waiting for you all day. Jenny's sudden appearance caught the attention of the group of friends, who exchanged curious glances. Kim Jenny, from the 6th-ranked Academy of Arts, was widely known by the nickname Jenny. She maintained a gaze full of fascination as she looked at the male lead. The male lead responded affectionately. You're truly heartless. If I make a beauty like you wait for so long, I'll have to treat you to a meal as an apology. Jimin, you're despicable. Can't you see how beautiful the outfit I bought for her is? The clothes can't compare to the person. And the bag she's carrying is the most beautiful. The sweet words from the male lead to Jenny unfortunately reached Rose's ears, and her face turned gloomy. Jenny and Park Jimin left, but the sweet sounds lingered. Is it real? People will believe it. Of course, it's even more real than gold. When the boss was muttering, I don't understand. I'm finally inferior. Before he could finish, someone interjected, I don't understand what's inferior about me. Surprisingly, this person was even more defeated than the boss, and it turned out to be Hoseduck, crying and complaining. Based on what? Clearly, I arrived before her. What kind of injustice is this? Jenny and Park Jimin went to an upscale place together. There, Jenny handed a painting to Park Jimin, saying, Jimin, this is a gift for you. It's a painting I stayed up all night to create. If you dare to throw it away, I won't let you off the hook. Receiving this meaningful gift, the male lead couldn't help but be surprised. It was the first time he had received a gift from a girl since birth. Jenny appeared adorable, inquiring, Do you like it? Jenny's cuteness genuinely made Park Jimin a bit fluttered, but he immediately had to readjust his mindset. Kim Jenny, this is the bait you've prepared for me, isn't it? The male lead secretly understands that since the moment he spent money on her, she had planned how to trap him. Unfortunately, he is no longer the same person he used to be. Noticing Park Jimin's displeasure, Kim Jenny silently questioned herself. It seems he's not very happy, doesn't like this gift. Right after her contemplation, the male lead asked with concern, Why give me this? Hesitant, Jenny held the painting. It's a painting I stayed up all night to create. If you don't like it. Before she could finish, the painting was snatched away by the male lead. He even leaned in close to Jenny, saying, In the future, if you don't receive gifts like this, then you'll have to take responsibility for me. Frightened for a moment, Jenny burst out, You damn guy, outrageous. You scared me to death. Give the painting back to me. No, you can't hide it like some precious family heirloom. In response, Park Jimin's flattery spread everywhere. He grabbed Jenny's hand, saying, Kim Jenny, compared to your gift, I prefer you as a person. Their eyes met, causing the young girl's heart to flutter for a few beats. He knew how to flirt excessively, and the favorable impression increased by 5 more. Holding Kim Jenny in his arms, Park Jimin schemed in his thoughts. wants to take advantage of me, obediently be my tool to make money. As the two embraced warmly, a loud call interrupted them. Kim Jenny. The person with a stern look cut their intimate hug with a forceful gesture. Kim Jenny, didn't you say you were going for a manicure with your best friend? Who is this man? The emotional-faced young man continued questioning Kim Jenny. Getting so close, even during the manicure? Is he really wealthy? You've even hugged. I've been pursuing you for so long, and I haven't even held your hand. Observing the pitiful appearance of the young man in a blue shirt, the male lead understood even more. This unfortunate lad seems to be Kim Jenny's simp, very familiar with this attitude. In response to the pitiful look of the young man, Jenny angrily retorted, "What are you to me? Whether I'm in a relationship or not is none of your business." At that moment, Park Jimin intervened to cut through Jenny's anger. He engaged in conversation with the lad. "Hello, fellow student. I'm Park Jimin. What's your name? How long have you been pursuing Jenny?" The young man replied, "I'm Feng Lao, an art academy student. I've been pursuing Kim Jenny for half a year." Hearing this, the male lead could only sigh, a lost youth. "I once pursued a female student for 3 years, working 4 jobs simultaneously. Every day, I ate steamed buns with pickled vegetables. But in the end, she chose someone else's Mercedes-Benz. Why does it have to be like that? Too much." And a sincere piece of advice from Park Jimin to Feng Lao. Those who abandon us will become the motivation for us to improve ourselves. The great husband returns to the dorm alone. Forget about her. Strive to make her regret her choices after you succeed. Encouraged by this determined advice, Feng Lao pledged, "Uncle, rest assured, I will become strong. I will earn a lot of money." Kim Jenny stood on the sidelines of the conversation, puzzled. What kind of story is this? Feng Lao is crying too. Then she turned to explain to the male lead, "Jimin, he's just a normal friend of mine. I didn't expect." But the response truly surprised her. "Jenny, I don't care about your past, but I feel you don't respect me much, and you don't respect yourself either." While speaking, he tore the painting that Jenny gave him into pieces, turned away, and as he walked away, he reminded, "The card from yesterday, you can still use it. But until you sort out your personal relationships, it's best if we don't meet." Surely, in his mind, there was a reason for doing so. He genuinely wanted to know, "Kim Jenny, let's see how you handled such a tight-binding soft trick. I'm looking forward to it." The male lead left, leaving Jenny with countless thoughts. For the first time, someone is so tolerant of me. He genuinely likes me, but I ruined it. Hoo. With the favorability rating increasing by 5 points in the evening scene, the male lead returned home. He understood that he couldn't overly indulge women, or they would take advantage of it. "I've grown up again. I've finished building the second tower next to Kim Jenny, so I've switched to teasing Kim Jisoo." Just as I opened my phone, my friend's messages showed Kim Jisoo's live stream. Is she also a streamer? Jisoo's live stream had just started. "Hello everyone, my name is Jisoo, an intern who has been live streaming for 2.5 days. My specialty is singing, dancing, and playing the piano. Please pay attention to me." Seriously reviewing Jisoo's live stream, Park Jimin found it quite cute. Could it be that President Kim is a cold person with a warm heart? Well, that's only for a few people. While watching Jisoo's live stream, the male lead was bothered by a message from Little My Nay. "Oh, darling is online. Hey." Their chat was full of unfamiliarity. "Who are you? Haha. Yesterday, I gave you a bunch of money, and today you've forgotten me. Haha, I've been teasing her lately. Let's meet up when you're free. Haha, you're in a hurry. Lately, your schedule has been full. Oh well, my darling, don't be angry. Tonight, Little My 9 will specially dance for you." Park Jimin. Who is this? Trying to trick me into giving gifts? I've lost more than $1 million and still couldn't bind me. I'd rather give money to President Kim. At the same time, the male lead received a notification that the streamer he was following was protesting and cheering for her. The adorable Jisoo. Jisoo's roommate was also worried. Jisoo has someone who wants to challenge her. I hope it's not some famous streamer. The male lead saw this and was pleased. President Kim is about to face off. It's going to be an interesting PK. My too, believing herself to be an experienced streamer, commented, "Oh my, paired up with a new girl. Looks like an easy witness time." But Park Jimin affirmed, It's hard to say whether it's a win or lost until the end. These two have a strange fate, being paired up like this. The PK match between Manhwa and Jisoo officially began. After a while, the cute one only had 206 points, while Manhwa reached 10,687. At this moment, Manhwa was overwhelmingly winning with the heavy points she received. Oh my, little sister should give up. Even if you break your arm, you can't defeat me. I have the backing of a rich man like my calm and peaceful darling. Continuously on the internet, comments flooded in. Mr. Baekhyun, you gave more than 100 million yesterday? That's the top-tier godly level. So quick and already falling into Manhwa's trap. Still, Manhwa is amazing. 666,666. Sorry, Jisoo, I betrayed you. Manhwa's spotlight is too bright. Manhwa was still living in the moments of complacency, relying on her fish-raising technique. Surely Mr. Baekhyun had fallen for her. Right at this moment, the giant nettle arrow appeared. Manhwa looked joyous. Mr. Baekhyun is here. Thank you, Mr. Baekhyun. Mo. But upon closer inspection, she exclaimed, how is this possible? Alone, she smoked a cigarette and received 1,000 missiles, a gift that was meant for the adorable Jisoo. This made both Jisoo and her friend gasp. The fortune of 1,000 missiles was bestowed upon them. In contrast to Jisoo and her friend's joy, Manhwa seemed to be silence, so hateful, not meant for me. The sound of knocks echoed as usual, a staff member bringing news from the boss. The boss called and demanded an explanation. After losing a massive amount, Manhwa was flustered. Sorry, dear Mr. Tong, I have a little issue. I had to end the live stream earlier. Commentary continued to pour in. Haha, got slapped in the face, didn't you? Baekhyun is too powerful, and Manhwa is on her own now. She used to say that Boss Baekhyun was her reliance. Turn around and see Boss Baekhyun giving gifts to others. Meanwhile, Park Jimin found this ending quite satisfying. I can give gifts to her, or I can give them to others. Trying to play me, the one who laughs laughs best. President Kim, I played my cards. Don't let me see any flaws. Switching scenes to the main office of the streamer management company. The boss is in trouble again. Manhwa is smoking alone and gifting 100 million stars. Is this kid some Middle Eastern oil tycoon or something? In the streamer's resting room, the noise was just as loud. The lonely tycoon is smoking alone and giving 100 million to the guitar-playing streamer. Seems like he likes music. Suo, quickly grab my 3 angles, Suo, and also take my Sedona. One morning on the lecture hall, Jisoo's roommate hurriedly brought news. Jisoo, look at this. Your live stream today is trending on the hot search. You're about to become famous. About to become an internet sensation. Jisoo didn't seem too thrilled. Famous on the internet? Well, being a cheerful man on the internet is not a long-term plan. The most important thing for women is independence in career, economy, and character. Okay, don't skip class for me all the time. Jisoo's roommate continued to inquire. So spill it. Which crazy tycoon is showering you with gifts? Do you know him? Jisoo dismissed the question. How many times do I have to say it? Believe it if you want. Don't if you don't. Okay, don't get mad. I'm just curious. Despite her nonchalant attitude, Jisoo was still quite interested. While texting, she muttered, even if someone gives you that much money, it's still polite to send a thank you text. Her roommate was left helpless. Just a moment ago, someone said that pleasing men wasn't a long-term plan, speaking one way and acting another. While muttering, her roommate was startled by Kim Jisoo's exclamation. Hey, what's going on? Minji? I might really know this tycoon. It seems to be Park Jimin. Jisoo raised her phone, revealing Park Jimin's nickname as the Lonely Smoker. With her vivid imagination, Jisoo had envisioned him as the son of a wealthy family, well-fed and well-dressed from a young age, but very humble, always pretending to be an ordinary person. Having received an excellent education, he grew tired of being admired by others, and just wanted to live freely. One day, he met the girl he loved and decided to courageously pursue her with the identity of an ordinary person. It must be something like that. Jisoo's roommate found Jisoo's words quite perplexing. Are you reading too many novels with overbearing CEOs? Jisoo continued her musings. He must have had a luxurious life from a young age, so pretending to be an ordinary person is undoubtedly challenging. I can't sleep. I have to sincerely thank him. As the male lead finished showering, he received a notification on WeChat. Kim Jisoo had sent a message. Hey, Park Jimin, are you free these 2 days? I saw your message, and Chairman Kim has already invited you. He's always available. I want to invite you for a meal. What do you like to eat? Let's go for lobster. It's my favorite. Okay, at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Meet at the school gate. While drying his hair, Park Jimin thought to himself, she didn't even ask where I got the money to give, just casually inviting me for a meal. I want to see what kind of medicine she sells in her pharmacy. Transitioning to the morning at school, Park Jimin nervously rode his motorbike to the campus. At that moment, he noticed an old man. Seeing the young man waiting, the old man inquired, "Young man, waiting for someone?" "Yes, I'm also waiting. I'm here to pick up my adopted daughter." Kim Jisoo stepped out, looking left and right, scanning the area. The male lead saw her and called out, "Kim." Before he could finish, the elderly man interjected, "Stop looking. Young man. You have to work hard to make money. Otherwise, beauties like her will be taken away by guys like us." Jisoo laid eyes on the young man in front of her, her eyes sparkling with a magical allure. The dazzling beauty of Park Jimin truly made people look up and take notice. "Oh, so handsome." When the old man grumbled, "When can my grandson drive a car like this?" The male lead had already taken Jisoo for her first ride, asking, "Are you secure?" The scene before them left the old man gaping, frozen as he watched the young couple speed away. Well, making that much money, what's the use? Park Jimin drove Kim Jisoo on the fully loaded motorcycle, swiftly gliding through the wind. Kim Jisoo, seated behind, clung tightly to Park Jimin. By now, she too had immersed herself in the melodious space, feeling like she was riding on a luxurious motorcycle along a path adorned with roses. Her heart raced, her face flushed. Suddenly, Park Jimin said, "We're here." This statement snapped Kim Jisoo out of her rosy love-filled thoughts. Stopping at a lobster restaurant, Park Jimin parked the bike and led Jisoo inside. Quickly, the food arrived. Your spicy and garlic-flavored lobster order is ready. Enjoy your meal. Young man Park Jimin used a tissue to wipe the bowl and cup in Jisoo's surprised gaze. She, with heart-shaped eyes, admired, even in a regular restaurant, he doesn't forget elegance. Truly the demeanor of a wealthy man. The young man continued to offer a tissue box to Jisoo. "This tissue is careful not to get your hands dirty." Jisoo accepted it and replied, "Thank you." In her thoughts, she pondered on the balance in behavior. Too much would seem overly caring. Too little would come off as cold. Truly, family upbringing was quite strict. The young man took advantage of the moment to put a lobster into his mouth, savoring it. Meanwhile, Jisoo reflected, this must be the smallest lobster he has ever eaten. Despite being so rich, he chooses to eat at a roadside restaurant with me, probably to avoid pressuring me. He truly is a gentle and considerate flower. Kim Jisoo's favorability rating increased by 10 points. As the young man was biting into the lobster, he received a notification that startled him. What? How did the favorability increase just like that? Right after, Kim Jisoo peeled the lobster and handed it to him. The young man was extremely surprised. She effortlessly peeled the shell while saying, "Park Jimin, thank you. I'll help you peel the shrimp." The young man froze in amazement. Later, Jisoo carefully handed each peeled shrimp to him. At that moment, 2 other guests arrived, and it happened to be Park Jimin's ex-girlfriend, Rose. As she looked around, she noticed the intimate scene between Jisoo and Park Jimin. Rose's eyes widened, and she exclaimed, "I can't believe it. Kim Jisoo is peeling shrimp for Park Jimin." With a darkened expression, Rose contemplated. First it was Kim Jenny, and now it's Kim Jisoo. How does he have the courage? To avoid another embarrassing situation like the previous one, Rose turned to her boyfriend and suggested, "Yuji, it's crowded here. Let's go eat somewhere else." Yuji quickly recognized the issue and asked, "Crowded with people or familiar faces?" Then, he smirked and continued, "I like places with a lot of people." Approaching Park Jimin's seat, he leaned over the table from above and declared, "Hey, your name is Park Jimin, right? Here's 500 yuan. Give up your seat for me." The bills scattered onto Jimin's food. Jimin looked up and thought to himself, is he going crazy? He acts as if he's so handsome. Yuji continued with a smug look, "Do you need an extra 1,000 yuan to convince you to move?" Suddenly, Jisoo stood up, her whole demeanor fiery, her eyes and expression filled with anger. Jimin, looking at this unexpected scene, was extremely surprised. He wondered if he was the one being provoked, as she seemed furious for some reason. Jisoo thought to herself, this little brat's audacity. How dare he disrupt my perfect date? Yuji, seeing Jimin still seated, took out his wallet to grab more money, saying, you complained about the amount. Well, let me show you. As Yonyu was about to continue, two hands appeared, snatching the money from the table. Big brother, this money is mine. Let me handle it for you. I'll add a table for you. Yonyu gritted his teeth and grabbed the troublemaker by the collar, angrily muttering, what a copycat. For the second time, Yonji was interrupted mid-sentence, as a wallet came flying out of nowhere, smacking him in the face. He cried out in pain, blood streaming down. The owner of the Kaya wallet was Kim Jisoo, who acted as if nothing had happened, saying, I'm fine. It wasn't me. I don't know anything. Jimin silently thought, the girl throwing stones while hiding her hand is quite impressive. Suddenly, a giant figure approached with a booming voice. Mother of Min Yuji, you eat my food, wear my clothes, drive my car, and now you're using my money to flirt with girls. This statement shocked both Jimin and Jisoo, leaving them curious and bewildered. A woman with a sumo wrestler's build, a face resembling a cell, and a massive body size made Jimin lose his composure. Threatening my life. Yuji, holding his bloody face, trembled. Park Chanyeol, why are you here? The sumo lady blasted her voice through the speakers, shouting loudly, if I weren't here, how could I catch you flirting behind my back, you worthless scumbag? Yuji quickly approached, trying to appease her. Chanyeol, you've misunderstood. How could I flirt with someone else? Everything on me is given by you. How could I betray you? Rose, standing nearby, eyed Yuji like a bullet. In a tricky situation, Yuji turned his car and faced Rose, grabbing her head, and yelled, you, actively seducing me, you insignificant escort, get lost. In pain from her hair being pulled, Rose cried out, where am I going to die? What nonsense are you spouting? I clearly didn't know you were going to meet me, and you even said you were single. Exposed, Yuji became furious, swinging his hand to slap Rose, saying, shut up, you convenient woman for me. Frustrated but helpless, Rose could only look at him and utter, Min Yuji, you. Yuji continued to act tough. Why are you looking at her? If you keep staring, I'll slap you too. He raised his hand again, but before he could strike, Park Jimin captured the moment, saying, a man resorting to hitting women. You even complain about not losing face enough. Rose's favorability immediately increased by 20 points. In her inner thoughts, it's him, Park Jimin, indeed still in love with me. The favorability rating increased by another 20 points, and continuous system messages notified the second-ranked dog licker, Jung Hoseok. The favorability towards the user reached a breakthrough of 95 points. Congratulations to the user for successfully activating it. The second-ranked dog licker has spent a total of 50,000 yuan. The reward for the user in the dog-licking department is 5,000 yuan. Jung Hoseok transformed into a dog licker, earning the user an additional 20 reinforcement points. Park Jimin's information board displayed by the system. Name, Park Jimin. Age, 21. Height, 1.79 meters. Weight, 63 kilograms. Strength, 9. Physical fitness, 9. Mental strength, 9. Agility, 9. Sensitivity, 10. Reinforcement points, 20. The young man quickly chose to reinforce 10 points in strength and 10 points in physical fitness. Immediately after, he twisted Yongji's arm. Yuji screamed in pain. Ouch, ouch. Let me go. Let me go. He reached for a bottle of foreign liquor, saying, like to show off, don't you? Die for me. As he spoke, Yongji forcefully slammed the bottle of liquor down. The young man, Park Jimin, cast a sidelong glance. He shouted loudly, noisy brat, shut up quickly. Accompanying that shout was a powerful punch, shattering the liquor bottle. Yuji was also punched and thrown far away, blood streaming from his mouth. Min Yuji can lose face easily, but hitting women while at it is truly despicable. Yuji, now on the ground, coughed, and then his eyes turned cold. He quickly pulled out a gleaming knife from his pocket. Seeing this, Jisoo exclaimed in panic, "Park Jimin, be careful." Yoongi gritted his teeth, thrusting the knife forward. Park Jimin skillfully dodged, then twisted Yoongi's arm. Yoongi screamed in pain, dropping the knife. Park Jimin forcefully brought him down to the floor like an MMA match, creating a shocking scene in a lobster restaurant. Yoongi now lay sprawled out, foaming at the mouth, muttering, "Even a grain of rice dares to compete with the sun and the moon." People in the restaurant, noticing the fight, crowded in, gossiping excitedly. "So handsome, haha, losing face so quickly." Rose knelt down, looking up at Park Jimin, Kim Jisoo, and the young man as they were about to leave the restaurant. Rose quickly rushed over, embracing the legs of the young man. "Park Jimin, I was wrong, I was blind. Can you give me a chance to start over?" Park Jimin's face darkened as memories of the past flooded back. "The Park Jimin you're talking about, is it the one who carried you over 10 kilometers to the emergency room at 3 in the morning? Or the one who saved up for half a year to buy you a mobile phone but was criticized for not being the latest model?" Rose blushed, feeling embarrassed, realizing she had dug herself into a deep hole with her hometown's gossip. She stammered, "It's not me." Park Jimin continued, "Or perhaps it's the Park Jimin who knew you were vain, but always believed that one day you would change. That Park Jimin is dead, and it was your choice." Hearing this, Rose's tears started to flow, and she could only silently watch Park Jimin walk away. A moment later, Park Jimin stood in front of Kim Jisoo, feeling awkward. "I'm sorry, President Kim. Tonight, I caused a disturbance and spoiled your dinner. You don't need to call me President Kim, just call me Jisoo. Moreover, I don't feel disturbed at all. On the contrary, I see a different side of someone." Indeed, the more you look, the more unfathomable this Park Jimin's character becomes. "Next time, let me treat you." Park Jimin expressed hesitancy. Meanwhile, in Kim Jisoo's mind, she was thinking, "I have a feeling he will surely bring me countless surprises." Back in the room, quickly opening the door, Rose rushed into her roommate's room and found Hoseok all wet. She immediately asked, "Hoseok, why didn't you bring an umbrella when it's raining?" Hoseok burst into tears. Park Jimin, her roommate, concerned, said, "Why are you all wet? Why didn't you find a place to take shelter?" Then she continued, "Park Jimin, it seems you've heard about him too. Yesterday, Park Jimin donated over 10 million when Kim Jisoo was live streaming. You can't tell he's wealthy just by looking at him." Hearing this, Rose's face darkened. "Over 10 million what? Who told you? And is it true?" Her purple-haired friend added, "Kim Minji, who shares a room with Kim Jisoo, said it. It's already spread all over the girls' dorm. I thought you knew." At this point, Rose fell silent. Later, she burst into tears again, wailing louder, "Park Jimin." "Who?" Rose's scream echoed through the entire female dormitory. Some girls from other rooms, disturbed by the noise, shouted, "Who's making such a fuss at night? I'm watching a horror movie here." Switching scenes to Jimin continuously winning games. "This is really unfair. Tran too. Tonight, you've won 18 consecutive games. Jimin, are you eating live oysters? You're so strong. You're not some sports genius. You usually play with us." In Park Jimin's mind, he thought, unexpectedly, after gaining an additional 20 attribute points, even playing games became easier. Just as he finished thinking, he brushed it off. "What are you thinking? I'm just in a good state." His roommate suggested, "Jimin, why not become a streamer? Wait until you make hundreds of thousands, then take us along." Jimin quickly took off his shirt, saying, "All right, you guys play. I'm going to take a shower." As he entered the bathroom with his well-built body, he continued to ponder. The attribute points had brought about changes in his body, and his physique had improved. Looking at himself in the mirror, he thought he might even surpass Hwang Taiji. No, perhaps he was stronger than Hwang Taiji. Anyway, with the system, he continued to imagine having a perfect body like this. Who wouldn't be impressed? Suddenly, there was a shout from outside. "Jimin, did you fall into the toilet? Hurry out, there's a phone for you. Kim Jenny, she's calling, and it's already late. Perhaps she's come up with a new trick to tease me again." The young man quickly picked up the phone. "Hello, Kim Jenny. What's the matter that you're looking for me?" On the other end, there was sobbing. "Park Jimin, I don't know what to do, Huguo." Park Jimin, puzzled, listened while the rain poured loudly outside in a messy room. Kim Jenny continued to whimper. Hoo. Park Jimin, I don't know what to do, so I came looking for you. Can you transfer 50,000 to me? Kim Jenny slowly explained that her father owed a lot of money due to gambling. Her father begged some gangsters, give me another 2 days. By then I'm sure I can pay it all back. Kim Jenny sighed. A relatively wealthy family has fallen into misery, having to face high interest loans every day. I'm not a materialistic girl, but I have to repay the debt. On the other end of the line, Park Jimin quickly said, give me the account number. Hearing this, Kim Jenny was stunned. Is he really giving me money? Kim Jenny hurriedly sent the account number to Park Jimin. Very quickly, just 1 minute and 30 seconds later, a bank message arrived. Seeing a lot of zeros, Kim Jenny started counting. 10, 100,000, a million. This was not 50,000, but 500,000. Kim Jenny asked Park Jimin, I only asked for 50,000. The young man quickly replied, it's okay, just accidentally added an extra zero. The joyful scream from Kim Jenny on the phone echoed, making Park Jimin feel like his ears were ringing. Kim Jenny's favorability rating quickly increased a lot, causing the young man to break out in a cold sweat. Thank you, Park Jimin. I will definitely repay you. Kim Jenny expressed her gratitude. Kim Jenny's current favorability rating is 94%. The rain outside was getting heavier inside the dorm room. Seeing the favorability points through the system, Park Jimin couldn't help but exclaim, 94 points. What's going on that can't win her over? The young man noticed that the system hadn't updated Kim Jenny on the licking dog list, so he'd immediately thought of a bold idea. Why not confess? After some internal struggle, he decided against it. Those who reveal their desires first often face disadvantages. Confessing first means losing the game. The young man was quite cunning when thinking about confessing. Imagining a scene where two armies clash and the standoff creates a tense atmosphere, with neither side making a move. He decided not to follow that tactic. The next morning at the South Dormitory, the young man, walking with his friend draped over his shoulder, said, I'm telling you, with the two of you acting like this, no girl will be impressed. Hurry up and make a move, buddy. Suddenly, there was a call for Park Jimin, and the young man turned to ask, who's that? Jung Hoseok, holding a bag of food, replied, Park Jimin. I brought breakfast, got some buns for you. Let's go to class together. One of Park Jimin's friends exclaimed in surprise, what's going on? The sun rises in the west, and yet Jung Hoseok is buying breakfast for Park Jimin. Unexpectedly, another girl's voice chimed in, Jimin, I also bought breakfast for you. The three young men behind stood frozen, as if in silent shock. What on earth is happening? I guess Jimin got bored of the cafeteria food, so they specially cooked seafood porridge for him. The two girls faced off, their jealousy evident, ready to engage in a bloodthirsty battle. Seeing this scene, Park Jimin broke into a sweat. I was just saying, ladies. At the climax of the commotion, a girl's voice added to the mix, calling out, Park Jimin. Park Jimin's friends widened their eyes and exclaimed, again. The chubby guy in green spoke up. Let us have some too. The guy in white in the middle chimed in, life is so unfair. The guy with 6 milk boxes didn't get a single one straight. The bespectacled guy on the sideline seemed calmer and responded, enough, stop dreaming. Those 2 or 3 over there won't get anything without paying. Listen to my magic spell and open your eyes. Life is inherently unfair, so hair strands never grow straight. Life is inherently unequal, so don't ever try to straighten a hair strand. Meanwhile, Park Jimin was silently wondering who it could be this time. Kim Jisoo stepped forward and said, Park Jimin, I brought beef noodles for you. Both Rose and Kim Jenny looked at Kim Jisoo. Rose wondered why she had come. Both girls sensed Kim Jisoo as a beauty preparing to enter the boxing ring. Rose and Kim Jenny blushed. This was the aura of the second-ranked beauty in the school, a strong and imposing feeling. As Park Jimin took the bag, he asked, how did you know I like beef noodles? Kim Jisoo approached Park Jimin and said, yesterday, when we had the land lobsters, I guessed you'd like spicy food. Right when I found a genuine Australian beef noodle shop, so I bought some for you. Feeling cared for by others was great. Thank you, Jisoo, Park Jimin said. The President Kim indeed could deduce his preferences through his unchanging and sharp taste. Jisoo seemed a bit shy, saying, "No need to be polite. When giving breakfast, you have to consider the other person's preferences." The two girls behind them were furious and clapped their hands sarcastically. "If you can't figure this out, how can you say you like it?" Kim Jisoo's words were sharp, as if she were punching each of the two girls. Immediately after, Kim Jisoo gave another gift to Park Jimin. "That's right, here's a gift for you to express my gratitude." Holding the gift box, Park Jimin exclaimed, "This is the newly released 15 Pro Max phone." Park Jimin's friends were gaping in disbelief. "Can't believe our eyes. President Kim giving a gift to him, and it's the latest model phone." One envious guy of VIP class added, "Seeing him receive a gift, I'm more upset than if my dad died." Rose and Kim Jenny shared the same thought. This is more than 10,000 won. How could she?" The gift was like throwing a bomb into the pond. Rose and Jenny, both girls, felt as if they had been slapped. Their faces turned pale, and blood rushed to their heads. Park Jimin scratched his head, saying, "Oh, no need to spend so much." Jisoo replied, "But you spent more than me. I don't have much money. It's just a little thought." It was quite embarrassing. But it didn't matter, so I'll accept it. Rose and Kim Jenny, who had already been humiliated in the morning, remained silent. Later on, the scene shifted to another place in the school. Rose, walking alone, was lost in thought. Pursuing Park Jimin seemed difficult. Just a few days and Jisoo had added 10,000 more. This feeling was truly irritating and vexing. At this moment, Kim Jenny approached Rose, initiating a conversation. "Your name is Jung Hoseok, right? Let's find a place to talk." Hoseok turned around, shot a quick angry look, and snapped, "What are you saying? I have nothing to say to you, all you wicked women. It's because of you." Kim Jenny continued to approach Rose calmly, saying, "Of course, we're talking about the league." Rose, enraged and almost fuming, retorted, "You, don't come near me. The league, what league?" Kim Jenny explained, "The league is uniting against our common enemy, Kim Jisoo. Can't you see?" In another scene, Park Jimin held the iPhone 15 Pro Max in his hand, silently thinking that Kim Jisoo was indeed considerate. How could she give such an expensive phone? Worth more than 10,000 won. Seeing Park Jimin staring at the phone, Kim Jisoo turned back and asked, "What's wrong? Is there an issue with the phone?" The young man quickly replied, "No, it's fine. Working well." The system reported that the current favorability level of Kim Jisoo was 40. Park Jimin looked at Jisoo and silently thought that if the favorability level weren't just 40, it seemed like she might even be in love with him. Afterward, the young man continued to imagine a scenario where a large fish opened its mouth, revealing sharp teeth, and then released bait to lure a smaller fish. Seizing the opportunity, the oblivious small fish became prey. Truly a goddess of cunning strategies, making the prey mistakenly believe she was the skilled hunter. Park Jimin silently thought that he needed to find a way to advance quickly. Suddenly, a message on his phone arrived. It was from My Knee. "Hey Haven, about the last time you mentioned meeting up. It's not that it's not possible, but I'm just a bit afraid of crowds. It's not that I don't want to meet you. Haven." After reading the message, Park Jimin chuckled and thought My Knee was taking the wrong impression without even bothering to send 2 authentic photos. Perhaps she saw him as a wealthy but foolish guy. At this moment, a message from someone named Long Huang popped up. "Hello Haven, I'm Long Huang, May Knee's top-ranked companion. I have a group with top-ranked streamers who share similar interests. Would you like to join?" Long Huang also requested adding him to a chat group for humorous conversations. Park Jimin read the message and thought, this might be the legendary group of top-ranked streamers. The humor-filled chat room, lonely while puffing on a cigarette, welcomed a new member. Someone quickly typed, "Here comes Boss Haven." Another voice chimed in, "Long Huang is impressive. He really managed to bring Boss Haven into the group." Another member added, "Boss Haven cares more about Boss Haven." Park Jimin replied, "Hello everyone, I'm the lonely smoker, hoping for more attention." Another member responded, "Hi, Boss Haven has been sweeping thousands of tens of millions for several days. Do any of us have the qualifications to get his attention?" Park Jimin quickly replied, "It's all just for some fun money. Boss Haven is so extravagant that thousands of tens of millions are just a small amount. My brothers are in business, and you might find some interest in it." After reading this message, Park Jimin thought to himself that it seems these tycoons want to test his quality, so he'll play along a bit. The young man quickly replied, "Taking care of things that can't be discussed might help me in joining your private chat." Another message arrived, a cool breeze indicating a good friend. Cool Breeze informed me that he has a villa for sale, and he wonders if Boss Haven is interested. Park Jimin immediately inquired, "What's the location like? And what's the structure?" In the Vinroop area, within the Vinhomes Villa complex, though situated in the renowned Vingroot district, famous for having villas priced at least in the tens of millions, Park Jimin replied, "Perhaps I've been considering buying a villa for some miscellaneous items. Tomorrow, I'll go take a look." The bald-headed guy, upon reading this message, was astonished. This guy seems seriously intent on making a purchase. Maybe we've misjudged. Long Wong isn't a scammer. He might actually be wealthy. Long Wong promptly said, "Whether he's genuinely wealthy or just pretending, we'll find out in due time. Even if our guesses are wrong, we can still make friends. Spending a few tens of millions here, and there won't hurt. It could be somewhat beneficial for us. Send him the location. We'll do a basic exploration when the time comes." The other guy then sent the address to Park Jimin. Vingroup area, Villa 8 in the Vinfast complex, House C66. The young man pondered in his head, wondering how much an increase in goodwill he could gain by giving her a villa. He was contemplating gifting Kim Jisoo a villa to boost her favorability, hoping it would trigger the flattering system. Very quickly, the next morning, Park Jimin took Kim Jisoo to view the villa. Both of them moved in a yellow, inexpensive taxi. Upon arriving at the villa area, as they stepped out of the car, Kim Jisoo asked, "Park Jimin, why did you bring me here secretly? Why are you acting so mysteriously? Can you give me a hint about the secret?" At the same time, in front of the villa's entrance, there was a bald-headed guy and a girl waiting. The chubby bald-headed guy waved his hand, saying, "Oh my, it must be Boss Haben for sure. I apologize for not coming to pick you up." The young man quickly replied, "You're too polite. I can enter on my own. It's no problem." The bald-headed guy looked at Park Jimin and rubbed his chin and thought. This Boss Haven seemed normal, but the girlfriend beside him had an unusual aura. Could she be from some hidden prestigious family? He needed to be more cautious. Otherwise, he might miss a golden opportunity. It seemed like negotiations today would be challenging. The bald-headed guy proactively extended his hand and introduced himself. "I am Do Kyung-soo, involved in some small business dealings. Due to recent financial needs, I reluctantly have to sell this villa." After a while of exchanging greetings and discussing various types of ostriches, the bald-headed Do Kyung-soo extended his hand and invited Park Jimin and Kim Jisoo inside, saying, "Gentlemen, please." Upon entering, they discovered a luxurious villa with extravagant interior design. Do Kyung-soo introduced, "Boss Haven, take a look. This villa has a built-up area of 500 square meters and an actual usable area of 2,000 square meters. The decoration is done by famous designers, and all the furniture is custom-made and imported. Look at this, a large river flows vigorously, and the feng shui, with dragon and tiger motifs, is exceptionally auspicious. If you have enough money, I even plan to be buried here when I die. The view is stunning, isn't it, Boss Haben?" The bald-headed guy confidently asked with outstretched arms. Seeing the luxurious villa and the enthusiastic invitation from the bald-headed guy, Jisoo wondered if Park Jimin wanted to buy the house. This luxurious villa must cost billions. Observing the exterior and the beautiful view, the young man quickly wanted to close the deal, saying, "All right, the location is not bad. Don't waste your effort anymore. Tell me the price directly." Seeing the young man ready to finalize the deal quickly, the bald-headed guy turned in surprise and looked at Park Jimin. After a while, he calmed down and pondered. The fish was about to bite, and he needed to add a bit more drama. The bald-headed guy replied, "Boss Haven, no need to hide it. Although I urgently need money, before you came, there were several groups very interested in this place." In his mind, he thought, the value of this house in his mind is 5 billion. He has to quote a bit higher to leave room for negotiation. He has to quote a bit higher. After speaking, he pointed and said, "Regarding the price, I'll give you an average figure, 6 billion. What do you think?" The young man heard the price inside. The bald-headed guy, seeing Park Jimin's expression, felt uneasy. "Oh God, did I quote too high? Indeed, you can't deceive the descendants of noble families. However, the young man didn't complain about the high price. Instead, he said, "It's not too bad. 6 billion is acceptable. Surprisingly, it's quite cheap." Do Kyung-soo and the girl beside him, hearing Park Jimin calling it cheap, were shocked. They exclaimed, "What's going on here? My goodness. And there's someone buying a house and complaining it's cheap." Do Kyung-soo, in frustration, turned red and said, "If that's the case, I'll push it up to 7 billion, not 8 billion. Park Jimin turned back to ask Kim Ji-soo, "Do you think we should buy this house?" "Well, you asked me, and whether to buy it or not has nothing to do with." Before Ji-soo could finish her sentence, the young man immediately addressed the issue, saying, "This house is meant to be a gift for you." Upon hearing this, a statement escaped Park Jimin's mouth, and Do Kyung-soo's face turned stiff as if frozen. 6 billion as a gift. This is financial strength and an aristocratic demeanor, a pro VIP. Oh no, my words earlier may have offended this gentleman. I hope not, otherwise I might have to sell the house. At this level, what else can I sell? Kim Ji-soo, unable to believe it, asked. A gift of 6 billion? In Ji-soo's contemplation, no matter how wealthy and generous Park Jimin might be, there had to be some limit to extravagance. 6 billion is not the same as 6 million. With her rich and diverse mindset, Ji-soo imagined that this could be some kind of scam by these people. There might be a chance they would force her to take some unknown potion. Just thinking about it made Ji-soo extremely worried. After carefully considering the hypothetical situation, Ji-soo responded cautiously, "Oh, that wouldn't be good. I can't accept it." The young man quickly took the hand of the girl. "Ji-soo, listen to me. It's not like the rent is due soon. I've already put my name on many properties. I want to have one under your name." Approaching Ji-soo, the young man continued with a sly smile, "Moreover, I hope I can give you a house." These intimate words and actions made Ji-soo blush. Ji-soo's imaginative mind began to picture scenes of a married couple. However, holding property jointly was typically reserved for married couples. Was Park Jimin considering them as? Ji-soo couldn't help but envision the wet and tender image of a married couple. Park Jimin continued with sweet words. "What are we to each other? What's yours is mine. There's no need to distinguish." At this moment, a series of system notifications appeared. Kim Ji-soo's favorability rating continued to rise by 10, reaching a current rating of 90. If Ji-soo's brain was constantly daydreaming in the second slot, it couldn't be wrong to say that Park Jimin was in the number 1 spot. The young man, striking a handsome pose, contemplated that his acting skills were becoming more refined. The film industry still owed him an Oscar statue. Surprisingly, the girl standing next to them pointed at the sensitive area of the bald-headed man and said, "Dear sir, look at that person over there. Maybe someday you'll gift me a house too." The bald-headed man thought to himself, "I really don't have the ability to give that. Although I think I can't afford it, I'll make a promise verbally." And then he casually said, "Sure, it will happen. Ha ha." Quickly, a while later, the young man pulled out a powerful black card and swiftly swiped it. He said, "This is a 1 million deposit. The remaining amount, once the ownership transfer process is completed, I will pay in full. No issues, right?" The bald man replied, "No problem. Just transfer the house to Mr. Haven's name. Leave it to me, and it can be done in a few days." After that, the young man left in a taxi, and the bald man continued to marvel. With Mr. Haven's wealth, he still calls a taxi every day to stay fit. Truly, the richer, the more humble, and the more low profile. Meanwhile, the secretary next to him mumbled, "Exactly, and at such a young age. I wonder if he's in need of another female secretary." At this moment, the taxi had traveled a considerable distance. Inside the car, Park Jimin contemplated, Chairman Kim's favorability has risen to 90 now. After completing the transformation of flattering her and spending 70 million, it can be transformed into a return of 7 million plus a bonus. The attribute points earned this time are quite substantial. A bit of a windfall. Just thinking about it is already exhilarating. Spoiler alert, Park Jimin also added another 10 million as a gift. Meanwhile, Kim Ji-soo was also pondering based on her novel reading experience. After the awkward words just now, Park Jimin would surely confess. She continued to imagine Park Jimin being caring and generous. In the future, he would undoubtedly become a good father. The diamond ring he gives on their wedding day would surely be as large as a quail egg. The wedding would be held in Milan or the Alps. What should they name the child? If the father's last name is Tran, what cool name could be given? Tran Denom, Tran True True, Tran True. No, if the father's name is Vien, then the child's name should be Thoughtful. Let's name him Part Jimin Thoughtful. When Part Jimin is old, would he forget who he is? Jisoo was daydreaming when suddenly the voice of Part Jimin rang out. We've arrived. Jisoo startled. Ha! In front of them was Harvard University. Seeing Part Jimin still sitting in the car, Jisoo immediately asked, Hey, Part Jimin, aren't you getting off? The young man waved his hand in greeting. Oh no, my roommate invited me to a game center. You go back by yourself. After that, the car quickly sped away. The voice of the young man echoed, Be good, be good, be good. Meanwhile, Jisoo wore an embarrassed expression. No way, why is this happening? What about his confession? Part Jimin swiftly arrived at the Bin's game center. The taxi stopped, and the driver hurriedly said, Dear passenger, we have arrived at the game center as requested. Entering, he saw his friend playing on the machine, and the young man exclaimed, Oh, playing already? The red-haired guy quickly replied, Jimin, why are you just getting here? We've played a round already. We lost because you weren't here. Old Chu jungled too much. Old Chu interjected, the villain accused first. Jimin, quickly get a card and log in. This machine is reserved for you. The young man raised his hand as a signal. Hold on a second. This foster father will boot up the machine for you. Wait a bit, and I'll elevate you to a master. The young man went to the cashier and said, Excuse me, open a card, 20 yuan, 4 packs of instant noodles, and 4 bottles of iced tea. The girl at the cashier was none other than Kim Jenny. She quickly recognized the young man and called Park Jimin. Hearing his name, the young man turned in surprise. Kim Jenny, why are you here? Kim Jenny quickly replied, I haven't told you, have I? My dad owns a chain of game centers, and this one is his. Thanks to you, I paid off my home debt. Thank you so much. Kim Jenny cheerfully continued, Park Jimin, let me treat you to a soft drink. No, I'll get you a permanent card for this game center, unlimited machine usage. That's right, that's right. Today is my lucky day. Just kidding, we really don't need to go that far. While the young man was receiving heart emojis from Kim Jenny, there was a sudden turn of events behind him. A tall guy with long hair and a baseball bat in hand loudly shouted, You're Lao Tu's daughter, huh? Your dad owes us money. When is he going to pay? He swung the baseball bat onto the table, making a menacing move. Kim Jenny quickly protested. I already paid you guys 5 million last time. Why are you asking for more? The guy retorted loudly. 5 million is just the principal. There's still interest. You owe us another 15 million in interest. Kim Jenny, now visibly angered, exclaimed, You people are outright extortionists and robbers. You're nothing but a gang of thugs. The guy closed in, grabbing Kim Jenny's hand. Enough, quiet down. If you don't have the 15 million today, you'll come with us. With this figure, this beauty, you'll be the queen at our place for sure. 1 or 2 years, and you'll earn enough to pay off the debt. Ha! Suddenly, like a gust of wind, Park Jimin swiftly approached, twisting the gang leader's arm from behind. All right, that's enough. Take off while I'm still in good mood. Witnessing this scene, Kim Jenny joyfully exclaimed, Park Jimin, you saved me. The gang leader, in pain and anger, shouted, You mutt, interfering in our affairs. Come at me, I'll deal with you for him. The young guys quickly armed themselves with knives and sticks and rushed in. Park Jimin cast a sidelong glance and then delivered a kick with his foot to the chest of one of them. The onlookers, who were avid fans of action movies, exclaimed, This kick is just like a move from a Jackie Chan film. When did Jimin become so skilled in martial arts? The League of Legends enthusiasts, having witnessed Park Jimin's impressive kick, visualized it as a victorious move. Someone, amazed, exclaimed, So the martial arts expert has brought the game into reality. Our failure wasn't in vain. Now with Jimin here, we're in good hands. The guy who got beaten up by Jimin warned, You punk, you got lucky today. Don't let me catch you again. The followers quickly retreated, shouting, Don't push our boss too hard. Run fast. The 36th strategy is to run away. Otherwise, you'll end up as a torn blanket. Kim Jenny, visibly relieved after being saved from imminent danger, rushed to embrace Park Jimin, saying, "Jimin, thank you for saving me again. I was so scared just now. It was like a nightmare." At this moment, a notification displayed Kim Jenny's favorability rating, which reached 95 points. Congratulations on the successful transformation from a negative target to a pet. The owner received a bonus of 5 enhancement points. The young man, holding Kim Jenny, pondered that today was indeed a doubly lucky day. Now, he contemplated where to wisely allocate the enhancement points. Simultaneously, Jung Hoseok entered the scene from somewhere, and upon seeing Kim Jenny embracing Park Jimin, was startled. He loudly exclaimed, "Kim Jenny, you sly woman." Rose pointed directly at Kim Jenny's face and scolded. This malicious woman, who claimed to be against Kim Jisoo, is hiding here, seducing Park Jimin. The young man, observing the two women facing off like lions preparing to clash, began to break out in a cold sweat. There was a sense of impending doom here. The system quickly maxed out the received enhancement points to boost my agility. Seizing the opportunity, it was time to run. That was the smart move. So the two lions rushed at each other, ready to engage in combat. Jimin's friends, witnessing the scene, intervened, saying, "Calm down, we're all friends here. There's no need for this. You two, don't start pulling hair and tearing clothes. Don't rip each other's clothes. It's really fantastic, or rather, it's not fantastic at all." As Jimin's friends tried to defuse the situation, they noticed that Park Jimin had vanished. Just a moment ago, this livestock guy was here, and now he's disappeared. Well done, Park Jimin. Indeed, I must add everything to agility promptly. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you enjoyed the content, please don't hesitate to hit the like and share buttons. Your support is a huge motivation for me to continue creating more videos. Additionally, there are many other interesting story videos on my channel, so feel free to check them out. Thank you.